Bomba clot. Ernie and Bernie were the stars of Shark Tale. You can't tell me anything. I don't care. There goes the Jamaican goons themselves right there. That's the photo I basically went off of to get them going. I started with this foil paper hack that I learned from the nail tattooist. It's such a game changer to help you save product because it's a pretty little penny, but it's so worth it. It just basically adds some volume for you. And like you saw earlier, I did mix blue and purple together for the faces, the jellyfish hat underneath or beanie, and as well as their locks. Just different rations to make the unique colors. Basically, I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a struggle at first on just thinking on how to start. It's so much harder for me, at least, to do something I've never done before without seeing someone do it first, like on where to start. But I was just basically thinking I just need to create volume for their big ass heads, okay? And that's where I started. And I was like, then I can place the head in there and go from there. So once I started actually having a plan, I was like, okay, it became easier. I'm sorry we sped up to this moment. It's like, okay, one and done. But I have no idea what happened to the footage. I'm so sorry about that. But basically what happened was I kept adding that jelly sculpting gel over the beanie to basically get it to match up to his shoulders. But I did record Ernie all the way through. It's kind of pressure to do character art because if you have one little thing off, it doesn't look like the character. And then for me, that just kills me. That kills me inside. It has to look spot on, basically. But I did take a little bit of some artistic liberty on their hands and their legs, or their tentacles, if you will. But you'll see that when I actually start on Ernie. Right here, I'm just top coating with a single brush so that I don't lose the indents or the impressions that I made for his head. I did the face glossy, everything glossy except his locks and that beanie part that peeks out, just to make it a little bit more realistic, because it looks like it's fabric in the movie. So I kind of wanted to keep it like that. Like most fabric doesn't look shiny like that. Blue, 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 blue. There's my little fishy I made. It's just moving a lot slower than I wanted, but I was just admiring the way these glitters shine. They're so pretty. In the end, I don't even know what glitter was glowing, because in the end result, I noticed that some of the glitter looked like it was glowing, and I did not know it was even glow in the dark. And I put like 4 different glitters in there. It's either that or it was just the Ernie and Bernie glowing and making it look like that. I'm not even sure. I was just like, oh snaps, I wish I would have noticed that. I'll have to go back and check it out and see which one was glowing like that, because I did not know I had glow in the dark glitter. And I live for, both glitter and glow in the dark, but I think glow in the dark has my heart the most. So here I'm doing Ernie now. As you've seen, I did use that rhinestone glue to basically cure the foil paper onto the nail. And yeah, I pushed it down a little to make it smaller. And then from there, I just go ahead and try to sculpt it into the best shape that looks the closest. Not even sure what you call that shape. Kind of like a rounded cone, I guess. If you've seen any of my other videos, I kind of describe it as I like to sculpt with my hands, my fingers, as much as I can, and then go ahead and perfect it with those tools. I just think that makes it the easiest for me. Oh, this tool. Now this tool here, this tool is like a like a pencil. So you can like twirl it into the little nooks and crannies to make like a little pocket like that. I really like that. I do sculpt this for a minute. I kind of wanted to just show how I work in real time without speeding it up. I will make some shorts for this as well, but this is my first long form video. And you know, I'm not gonna talk throughout the whole thing. To talk this long, to go almost an hour, is insane. So I'll be popping in and out. Okay, and here, this was basically like the back part of the beanie. I wanted to do those indents, like the folds of the fabric, because it does peek out a little bit from the front. So that's where I just go ahead and flatten it. I am using alcohol to work with this clay here from Chris's 3D shop. It is the Halloween collection, the glow collection. Mainly what I use for this set is the glow is absolutely amazing. And there I go with the silicone tool just to make those indents. It's looking like a real beanie now. So here I busted out a glow gel polish. I think it's from Glamour Beauty Supply. It was some shop on Instagram. And basically at first I did try to sculpt the zigzag, but that was a big old pain in my butt. So I was like, you know what am I doing? Like, work smarter, not harder. You're gonna see the zigzag. So I opted for this instead. How about just a lot of glow stuff? If it glows, I have it, or I'm gonna get it. I remember I had those little stars that go on your like ceiling, like in the 2000s. Now everybody has all those lights and fancy stuff, but I think that's where my glow, my love of the glow, really came from, was those little stars. And maybe the thong song too. I remember that scene in that music video. I was just like literally mesmerized by that scene where everything was like glow in the dark, including the thong and just all the outfits. Yes, if you haven't seen it, go watch it by Cisco. Anyway, back to Mr. Ernie. Basically adding that sheer 3D clay. That's also from Chris's 3D shop. I forget what color this is. It's the light blue color. It's like a light blue greenish color. And for me, it was just so important to get that depth, that dimension, because that's how they look at the movie. Is you see a beanie and then it's like their jellyfish gel or something over it. And I did not top coat before I put this on. I was thinking about it and then I was like, and then I just totally forgot. But it ended up looking fine. But at first I was worried there was going to be some like air bubbles, but That's why you see me tapping so much here. I was like, no, I don't want any air bubbles. And here we're adding, it's looking like the front or the back that's going to wrap around to make it look like the hat, to make it all one and just wrap it up. All right, here, I'm just trying to blend the clay all into one. I'm not sure if I cured it at this point or not, because I know with Bernie, I waited to cure so that I could do, you know, those indents that jellyfishes have. So I waited till the end to actually make those marks into the jelly on top. When I was done with those indents, I did go ahead and cure that. But one thing I did really enjoy about these clays, the sheer ones, is they're really firm. Like they will hold its shape until you're done. And not all clays do that. Some I feel like you can leave them and they might droop a little bit. Like you'd have to flash cure. But this one, it stayed in place and I really like that. Okay, when you see me use the brush, I'm basically using that to just smooth it out. Not necessarily sculpt, but smoothing it out. God, I just keep thinking of that song from the movie. It's like, she's a gold digger, blah, 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 she'll take the cash. I kind of want to do the gold digger. She was a little baddie though. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll sculpt her. Because I definitely want to do so many ocean themes. Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind for Aqua Nails is obviously the ocean or a little pool party. So definitely keep that in mind. I'll show more of the process if it's anything different. But stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me. Feel free to ask questions in the comments if you need any clarification on how to sculpt, what to sculpt, whatever. You know, I'm here, happy to help. Leave them in the comments below. Right here, I'm just adding more gel because in the photo, his head comes down to his shoulders or his hair. Whatever part that is of the jellyfish, the brain. Honestly, I don't know. Like on real jellyfish, it's like, where is their eyes? Do they have ears? Are they just blind and going off vibes in the ocean? I have no idea. I just know I've always liked them and they've always looked so pretty and just mysterious, floating around. I have this great memory. My family and I, we all used to go to like Rocky Point, and it was a lot less crowded than it is now. It was like when I was like in high school, maybe even preteen, yeah, maybe early teens. But basically, we'd go on the beach, come out way early in the morning, like 8 a.m. on the freaking beach, and there'd be all these jellyfish and sand dollars just scattered on the beach. They might have been dead. I think they were dead, to be honest, because why else would they be on the beach? They swim, right? So I don't know how any of that happened, but I just know there was a whole bunch on the beach, and they were like a white milky color, and we just like went and buried them all. I'm like, oh no, I wouldn't have done them. We should put them back in the ocean, right? I don't know, but I remember just seeing they looked so pretty on the beach, and I guess we gave them a proper burial. I'm gonna have to look that up later. Yes, they were just like milky white jellyfishes on the beach. They definitely weren't exotic Rastafarian jellyfish like this. So here I'm adding even more clay, just trying to blend it together with the clay that's already cured. It was a little bit tough because it is so firm. It was a little bit harder to blend it, but I think I was just going ahead and using like a bunch of alcohol to try to get that basically blended in. But once you put the top coat over it, you just wanna basically flatten it as much as you can with the other clay. And then once you top coat it, it pretty much looks all in one. It just melts all together. Yeah, with this set, I was pretty much learning just as I went. I mean, I had never sculpted jellyfish before, especially ones that are slightly like human-ish looking. There's another jellyfish that I did do on the thumb. It'll be all the way at the end. That doesn't have a face. just a general jellyfish, like a more realistic looking jellyfish. So that was fun. Definitely see myself doing even more jellyfish in the future. 3D and probably painted too. And most likely will still be glowing. Right here I was just trying to pat in more of the inside of the beanie since it was a little bit covered. It just needed to be a lot bigger to actually see it. Please forgive me for this, just going out of frame. I'm kind of new to content creating, so when I get in the zone, sometimes I still do catch myself just sliding off frame because it's just hard to work under the camera. But it'll get better from here, I promise. Aha, we're finally starting on his itty bitty body. And basically that's one of those mixed colors that I use with blue and purple. Just patting it down, making it flat. Here, I'm just trying to blend in the purple, get it flattened as much as I can. Because in the movie they are like an ombre color. Their bodies go from a blue to a purple. And that was another thing with this gel that I wasn't really expecting. It was a little bit harder to blend the colors together. The first one, I probably should have did it that way, where I put very little purple and blended it out, and then basically put a layer of clear gel on top so that the blend looked a little bit more smooth. So that's one thing that irked me. Although I was really happy with the set in the end, I felt like his blend didn't look so clean. And that's why I added this. I probably should have just left it right there. But, you know, you live and you learn. And I do have the blending gel in the mail right now. So I'm hoping that helps a little better because I love to do a cute little ombre. Because honestly, it could just be the pigment inside, the glow pigment. Because I know when I've just done like the sugar method with glow pigment, it does have like a little ashy look or something. I don't know what else to call it, like a cloudy look. Sometimes it can do that, but still love it. So ombre, ombre, ombre. I finished that. Apparently they're called balayage now. Well, when it comes to hair, I really feel like they just made that term up to charge more. Like, yeah, we need to make another way to add more money. So it's not ombre anymore. It's a balayage. It's like it's the same thing. Okay. Here, I'm just adding more clay to the face to just fill out the face a bit better. Right here, I basically was adding some dark blue polish in there to just kind of define those folds of a beanie. So apparently I didn't record it, but I did put a layer of clear gel over the body, hoping it would clear it out a little bit, but it's fine. He's okay. And basically going ahead and using that dotting tool to make the eyes. Then I went ahead and I did dot in some cat eye, and that's what you see me doing there with that magnet, was just activating the cat eye and then going ahead and just rounding out those eyes to make them pop more. They were, in other pictures, they were the same color as like the lips, but in this photo, they were purple, the outline of his eyes. So I just went ahead with that because I did think the nude on the eyes would look weird. So I just went ahead with that purple in the inspo pic. Ooh, here I was starting on the legs. Basically just flattening it out. Put oil, not oil, I put alcohol on my finger and just tap that to flatten it out so that I could go ahead and just manipulate it how I wanted the legs to look. And right here, I did this throughout the video. I didn't always record that part, but I did apply some primer so that it can just stick on with no problem. And the reason I applied it that way, just straight from the form onto the nail, is because the more you mess with the 3D clay, especially this one with the glitter in it, it kind of just melts with your body heat. It's very sticky, and just like with regular, if you're doing acrylic nails, the body heat is going to make it cure faster. And then, right, when you have gel in your hands, the more you mess with it, the more it gets hot, the more sticky and it gets, and it kind of melts. Not melts really, but you know what I mean. It just gets stickier and stickier. So it's better to just, stick it on that way if you're still going to manipulate the gel after you put it on, So right there, I basically attach it and then twist it. It was kind of hard to catch on camera, but I twisted it the most I could with just the silicone tool touching. You will have to grab it in some parts, but touching it the least amount you can makes it stay all together, if that makes sense. And here we did the same thing with the arms. We attached it from the form, and since there is primer all around the edges, it'll stick just fine. It's just the hard part, creating the movement and curing it at the same time. And that's kind of one of my favorite things to do when I sculpt, is like create movement and just some type of like vibrant energy. I don't know how else to explain it, but I basically hold it with the silicone tool, and then I have a handheld type of lamp that I'll cure it with. And here's where you see I'll do that at the same time. And this is where his arms are completely cured. Then we moved on to his beard. He has that long, like, dreadlock of a beard. And basically just blending that in. See, I can hear him now. He's like, Ernie, you made a joke. Respect. Right here, this is how I try to make the lock. And it's back to the pencil tool. There's, I don't know if you have been noticing, but the tips are all different. It's like a 5 or 6 piece set of these silicone tools. And I've just been kind of switching them out, trying them out. Because I didn't really know what they were all used for. I've always seen just that one silicone tool with, it's like a triangle shaped tip, I guess, or like a ramp shape. I don't even know how to explain it. And this set had multiple heads. So I was like, okay, let me just see all what I could do. And it is so helpful. It's a lot helpful. I've been working so long with one silicone tool and one shape. So I made it happen for that one tool. But this set, oh, I love it. Like, I can do so much more things and make it so much more easier. Love it. And here's a little close-up of my little friend. Okay, and on to the next nail. We're on to the Ocean Water Vibes. Right there, that was a mix of top coat and white gel polish to just make a milky white. And then I put down a layer of blooming gel and just kind of, swirl that in to make like a wavy water look. It's a lot of gel polish right there. See right there? Just go ahead and just keep making those waves and it'll bloom out. And then next, I go ahead and grab a bowl of water and dish soap, and I make those bubbles and grab it. This was really fun, and I think the bubbles are a lot more pronounced since it is on blooming gel. And honestly, right there, when I first saw that, I was like terrified, because I was like, that's too much bubbles. So this one, I wanted to definitely calm down a little bit. What is that? What is that phobia with all the bubbles? I didn't know I had that until I saw that day. I was kind of disturbed when I seen it. So I was like, that's too many. I just went a little crazy because I don't think I've really done it before where it was so pronounced like that. Because I've never done it on blooming gel. It was kind of subtle any other time I've did it. So it was a new vibe doing it on blooming gel. So on this one, I did do a lot less bubbles. So just be a little cuter. And then I go ahead and tap on it after I cure because it is dish soap. So you don't want any residue messing with your top coat later. Now I'm applying that acid-free primer to get ready to go ahead and sculpt my little starfish. You really love a starfish. And like you saw earlier, I'm using the Charmin Phalange glow clay, and it is so creamy and so pretty. Like, look how bright that is. It's neon. It's like a neon candy vibe. Just love it. It's so creamy and so easy to sculpt with. It's definitely the given for me. And you'll see in the beginning as well, like the glow is so strong. Basically, I start out with those 5 pieces arranged in like a star shape, and then just flatten them out and just connect them, push them together, and keep flattening form your starfish. I used to draw stars all the time in class. Those nautical stars and like bubbles and the checkerboard, like that black and white. The stars are just so easy to start off with. That's definitely stars and hearts, like the first thing we learn how to draw. So it's just kind of like muscle memory at that point. I'm really wondering if I should have sped this up. But I feel like some people want to see the real time it takes to do these things. These do take a long time. But for me, it's worth it. Art makes me happy. I like creating art. I've definitely seen some comments say things like, oh, who would wear these nails for so long? Or, how can you guys do anything with these nails and this and that? And I feel like those people just don't appreciate art. Because honestly, it's like a lot of these nails that I do are not necessarily meant to be worn. Some of them you definitely can, if it's just hand painted stuff. But things like this with two freaking 3D jellyfish on it with their legs hanging off the nails, like I don't expect anyone to wear those, especially if it has water on the inside. Well, it's really oil, baby oil. So it's like I don't really expect anyone to want to wear these or even buy these. Even if they wanted to, they would be pretty pricey because all the labor that goes into this type. But a lot of times it's just for the sake of fun to create something from nothing, It's for the art groups and just people that like to watch those types of things. I watch baking stuff all the time. I don't really bake anymore, but I used to. But I still appreciate just watching them like bake a whole cake from scratch and making it look so pretty. Just all the steps that go into it and all the things they do to just make a cake look, just transform a cake into a work of art. And you get to eat it. Sometimes you don't even want them to eat it because it's so pretty, but that's who my channel is for, is people who appreciate art and, the time and value that it takes to make a grand piece like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I have worn some pretty long nails, like 2XL. I've worn that before on both hands. I was doing nails with 2XL nails on, and my nails, they were pretty extra. They were a lot more extra than my clients. I know that's for sure. And I never really got any complaints about working with 2XL nails. I definitely didn't wear no stilettos though, where those are like pointy, like messing people and hurt people. But it's possible to work with long nails, let me tell you. And wifey butt, all that good stuff. It's just, it's just so annoying when people think life stops if you have nails. But anywho, here's an X-Acto knife, and I use that to basically make texture on it. I was thinking about just doing some little dots, but I was like, yeah, no. Let me try something different. So that's when I use that X-Acto knife, and then here I'm just perfecting that shape. Since we did flatten it out, the shape it kind of moved a little bit. So we just fix that up and then we cure it when we're ready. Have you guys seen that picture? I saw it floating around on the internet and it looks like it's a starfish, but it has like a little booty poking out on it. Is that on a glass or a rock? I don't know, but I'm like, is that picture real or fake? I have no idea. It's so cute though. I might do that in the future. It's always the cutest things. I love booty. I don't have a booty. Now they gotta be good. Here I'm adding in some bubble charms, iridescence. Ooh la la. Here's my laser frame thoughts. Yeah, sometimes My desk is a little bit of a mess. That's what I hold my trophy gel in. And here we're starting a seashell with some nude clay. And I mean, it's okay to use molds. Some people I've seen are so against molds. Like, oh no, you have to make every single thing. No, don't listen to them. It's cool to use molds if you want to. But obviously, if you want to up your sculpting game, then try not to. But little mini things like this, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and use a mold. And just adding some brown jelly to just make it look a little bit more realistic, like how a real seashell would look. I'm loving this nail already. I think it looks so much better with some of that covered up. As you see there, I'm going ahead and starting with my primer so that we have no problem sticking the 3D gel on. And it's a nice neon yellow from Charm Phalanges. That one's also a glow. Everything is pretty much a glow on here, except for that nude color. Okay, like I mentioned before, I pretty much try to sculpt as much as I can with my hands. Always using gloves, of course. You should always use gloves if you're touching product because you can create an allergy. And it's painful from what I've heard. It's very painful. It looks painful. And I mean, basically, if you like anything nail related, you may not be able to ever work with products again. I've seen people like ignore all that. They think, oh, well, nothing has happened yet, but eventually certain things will get to you, especially if you're allergy prone. So it's always safe to protect yourself whenever these are chemicals that we're working with. And chemicals are not always nice to humans, not good for us. So I mean, just protect yourself and continue having fun. Let me tell you, this was so satisfying using this pointed tip to make that curl. Oh my god, I love that. I want to do that 1,000 times. But yes, here I'm just making a seahorse. Seahorses are one of those things too that I always love to draw, always love to make, or even buy. Like one of those, it's just one of those things that I gravitate to for some reason. An elephant and cats, like big cats. It was just one of those things I always liked. I feel like every set of person has those things that they just love. Mine is always seahorses, stars, butterflies, like all the girly stuff, jellyfish. So definitely see myself making a lot more jellyfish this summer and seahorses. Fun fact about seahorses was that basically the males give birth, like they give birth to the babies. I saw a video, basically the mom handed over the babies to the dad, like they transferred them, touching stomachs, and then the dad sits there and gives birth. Like 1,000 little babies came out of the dad. Insane. Like why couldn't that happen to like in real life? To women, like you have my baby. I don't want your baby. You have my baby. Life would be like a lot better. Okay, back to the seahorse. So I did make some indents to just kind of make some definition, and that I used a little scissors, mini pair of scissors, dip it in alcohol and make those indents. You know, just use a lot of what you have to your best advantage. I honestly could have still used the silicone tool for that, but I do use my little scissors a lot as well. So from here, I did sculpt the body and then cured it. And then I added another piece to make the head and form that with its like little snout. Oh, she's looking so cute. Then we went ahead and cured that. Of course, it's out of focus, but basically I put a cat eye polish. The new golden egg from cat eye. I've been wanting like a true gold cat eye for a long time, and it's finally here. So definitely one of my favorites. I activated it with the magnet. Here I'm just adding some white spots with some gel polish from Liz Renee's shop. I do have a code with Liz Renee. It's Coco15 if you want to save some money. If you want to just go ahead and start out with some really pigmented gel polishes, that is definitely the place to go. And it's always better when you have a deal. You're saving 15% off using code Coco15. I've seen people use real seahorses doing nails, and it just looks so crazy. Like the colors just aren't vibrant anymore. So maybe I'll still try to find some and see what I can do. But if the colors aren't as vibrant, I just don't see the point. I love colorful nails. So we'll check that out for the future. And right here, I'm basically adding like a tail. Usually I have like a moon or something around their head, but I was using a real like seahorse reference, and they didn't have that. So I was like, I wonder if that's just the type of seahorse, like a different breed. But for some, I always added like a mane, and like that one, like a lot of the pictures I saw, they didn't have that. So I was like, I just made that up. Like, I don't know. See, with this part, I felt like it was just a bit too big. So I just went ahead and snipped off some, and then I just kind of made some defining marks for the tail. And here we're starting the jellyfish. This will be the final character on this nail. So we're basically starting with a glow clay, and this one glows blue, I think. And that is Chris's 3D shop that has the glow. And basically just trying to get it like an oval shape, like a half oval shape. That will be the inside, the brains of the jellyfish. Like we said, I have no idea which part is the eye or what. Then next, I did just want to make some dimension in there. Right, when I pulled up pictures, it did look like a couple things were going on inside the jellyfish. So that's what I did. Applied another layer. Tap, tap, tap. And please let me know if there's anything you'd like me to sculpt, you'd like me to try. All ideas are welcome if they're appropriate. But yes, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you'd want me to do next. And I do have some ideas lined up, but definitely just want to hear your thoughts. Here's what I love this for. Basically, this is going over the brains. The brains to make that pretty, flowy, see-through jellyfish. She's not going to have any eyes or anything like Ernie Bernie. Just wanted to do like a basic jellyfish. See how sticky it gets the more you hold it? So I was like, oh yeah, let me get my silicone tool and just kind of sculpt that, air sculpt it. Because I wanted it to be round, right? So we're just trying to sculpt it, but leave space so that, you know, it looks alive and not just flat. And here I go with them scissors again. So I'm not really cutting them, cutting, cutting into the clay. I'm just making like defining marks, like how a jellyfish would look. Just adding a little bit more detail, make it look more fun. It does look like a bucket hat, but I love it. I love it so far. Alright, next we're using a shimmer trippy gel from Nails by Dev's shop. This is the mystical mushroom. And basically I sculpted it on the form, cured it, and then I go ahead and just attach it in there with more trippy gel. Now that set isn't a glow, but it's a really pretty shimmer. All of them are shimmer. And I just applied this glow in the dark gel polish on the ends. And here we go, attaching it. This is the last character on the nails. Just so satisfying to finish, and I just love every single part of this set. See how cute and flowy that is? Oh my gosh, I live for that. I live for that. It's how it just looks like it's moving in the air. And next we will have the finished look of Ernie and Bernie, the stars of Shark Tale. Might I remind you? Just kidding, but I love this set. It's just a magical, fun set, and the glow is just mesmerizing. Look at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it all the way through, don't forget to subscribe.